That's good. That's really
Way
good.
better.
Yeah.
Way better.
Okay, so how about we just turn a little bit lighter and let's just talk about just a little bit of your younger life. So,
Okay.
yeah, where were you born?
I was born in Fairfield, Alabama, so not very far from where you are now. And my parents lived in that Midfield Fairfield area when I was very little, and then we moved to Rock Mountain Lakes out near Bessemer in when I was in the fifth grade. So, and we lived there. I lived there with my mom until I graduated from college in '86. So, so I lived in Alabama all my life until I was done with college.
Okay. Um, what or who shapes you into the person you are today?
um, that's a tough one. A lot of things. I grew up in a family that when I was in high school, my parents got divorced. So that was a big impact. Today, I don't think it's as big a deal when families, I mean, everybody knows somebody who's divorced.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, I was the only person I knew whose parents were divorced. And so that was a big impact for me as a young girl. The person who most impacted me when I was young was my grandmother. And so she was this free spirit, lived life on her own terms for all of her life. And so I think probably a lot of who I became in terms of somebody who made my own decisions about who I was going to be and where I was going to live and what kind of life I was going to have. I think I got a lot of that from her. So I think she's the who, and then my family blowing up is sort of the what. That was a really tough time, and it really influenced how I interacted with, I think, the people around me. I was pretty shy when I was a kid,
Me too.
which it's kind of funny. I look back on it, and I'm certainly not now. And sometime in high school, I remember very vividly, I was in about the 10th grade. And sometime about that time, I decided it was silly for me to be so shy. I
Yeah.
just started being more out there with what I thought and who I was. And so, but I was one of those kids that sort of floated among a bunch of different groups of people too.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a lot of friends, but I had one little circle. I was in the geeky kid crowd mostly. So, but every now and then I could float over to the cool side with your
Yeah.
mom.
I've yet to go to that side, I think.
But
um,
I sort of hung with the Brainiac kids, and I always thought it's so funny because I had this kid in high school who I was always competing against, and I just always thought that he just thought he was so much smarter and so much better.
yeah.
And laureate was Scott Bruner.
I knew that before you said it.
You already knew that, didn't you?
Yes.
So, what's really funny though, and this is a good thing for you to know. What's really funny is fast forward 25 years, Scott and I are having cocktails one night in Richmond, Virginia, where he lived, and I was in town for business. So we met for cocktails, and I was teasing him about always thinking he was smarter, and he said, Ginger, if I didn't think you were smarter, I wouldn't have been competing with you in the first place.
Aww. Friendly competition.
That's kind of funny, and that tells you the difference between boys and girls.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
Definitely.
but anyway, so I think that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Okay.
As a little kid, what was your dream job?
Oh gosh, it's kind of ironic. I don't think I thought about that a whole lot as a kid. One of the things that I witnessed today that I think is fascinating, and living where I do, the East Coast is much more competitive in some ways than the South in terms of kids and what the expectations are.
Yeah.
And I am aghast sometimes at how much pressure there is on your generation to perform and get in the right college and do this, do that. We never talked about that stuff. I mean, that just wasn't even on the radar screen. So the irony of it is when I went to college, I started with an undergraduate degree, I was pursuing a degree in business with a minor in nutrition. And econ was super hard, and so I just changed my degree. So I didn't know what I wanted to be. And I ended up with a master's degree in social work, and now I'm in finance.
That's
so
great, yeah.
all this pressure to figure it out when you're 15, it's just crazy. You know, don't let them do it to you.
Good to know.
It's just not, you know, you're not going to probably do what you go to study for your whole life.
Yeah.
Most people don't. I'm on my third career. And so now I've been in this one. This is my last one for a long time. But it took me a while to figure out what I wanted to do. So looking back, if I had had the kind of guidance that I think sometimes you guys get that we really did, you know, if I was starting today, I might have been a lawyer. A lot of my brain works like lawyers, and it ends up I have a lot of clients who are lawyers. So they like working with me because I think like them.
Yeah.
And so I think that probably would have been my dream career if I had had any idea even to look for it.
Yeah.
So I always thought I would just marry somebody who had a great career, and that would be the end of that, which is kind of hilarious, and totally impractical. But anyway, I think that's our generation more.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to end there, and I wanted to thank you again so much for your time, and thank you so much for answering these questions and doing this interview.
Yeah, thank you, Ginger. That was so amazing. I'm crying and laughing and everything.
Yeah.
That was so awesome just to hear from you and to hear your insight. Do you mind if she puts this on YouTube? Her teacher asked her to put it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
It's cool that y'all are doing this in video. That's fun.
Yeah, we hope so. We hope Mom did it right.
Yeah.
Well, if you didn't, just call me back. We'll do it over.
Okay,
got
I'll send
this.
you a link if it works. Thank you.
Let me have a look. I'd love it. And then when's your